Hi, I'm Irish Bill. You might remember me from some films such as Salt Beef, the sodium chloride infused killer, and Limber Chest, the world's deadliest splinters. Today, I'm going to go ahead and start a project that not only I, but other people have been wanting for me to do for a long time. And I've gotten nothing but positive responses from people when I'm inquired if whether or not they wanted me to do this project. And I hope all of you out there in YouTube enjoy this, as today we start our big journey of hand sewing a Civil War shirt. Now, there's going to be a few things that we're going to need for this, and this is the intro here, and I'm going to show you guys how to, like, everything that you're going to need to get for this. I decided to do this as a separate video itself, and I'm going to put out these videos once a week, because while I'm doing this video, I'm going to be filming myself sewing this. I still have to do other orders at the same time, so there's still many other projects to be done. But one of the first things you're going to want to do is this, is you're going to need to get yourself a pattern. And you're also going to need to get yourself your measurements too. Now, when you're getting your measurement, use a nice piece of tape such as this. You can buy these at Walmart, anywhere else. It's like, you know, I got this for like 99 cents. So it's a really great thing to have and to get yourself measured. And, well, if you also have someone in your family who does sewing too, more than likely they got one of these things in their sewing box. You're going to need to get yourself a actual chest measurement. And now, if you are someone who's on the portlier side, make sure to compare that to your actual true waist measurement, because there are some people that I know out there who in the reenacting world, and I'm not saying anything bad because I'm not I'm not a thin beanpole myself though, but I've actually seen it where their chest size is smaller than their waist size. And if you just go by your chest size, you're going to have a real nice tight shirt around the waist. And you probably, you really don't want that. So compare that. If one's bigger than the other, go with the largest one. But when you're doing your chest size, make sure you go around the nipple level and breathe in as big as possible breath, and then have your measurement taken. You'd be really surprised in how much and how wide your chest can expand from that. Now, I have here, this is a Gala Rock pattern. And there's nothing wrong really with the Gala Rock pattern, but it's just really not what I want to use for my projects. And I have made shirts from it. There's nothing wrong with it, but the pattern we're going to be using today, and I'll give a little bit of info as to where to go to get it, but at the bottom of the screen. But I went with a pattern that I got out of a Godey's Ladies Manual. You can find it on Google Books. They have reprints of Godey's manuals all the way back to I think the earliest one I saw was like 1840 something. So, but the one that I got, I believe, was 1862. You'll have to do some searching. I got that about like 2 years ago, and I can't remember exactly which one it was, and I should have saved the URL address for it, but oh well, you live and learn. So. But yeah, but like I said, you can go with a Gala Rock pattern, and yeah, it does have instructions in it though too, how to sew up your shirt. But I figure a nice visual experience and seeing how it is can also do it too, and it can also help out a lot when you actually see someone else doing it. Plus, not only that, but I'll give you a few little sewing hints that you're not going to find too much in these books or in these instructions. The next thing we're also going to need to get, now if you do decide to go with the Godey's Manual, I would really, really recommend getting yourself a yardstick. In the Godey's Manual, they just give you the measurements for the squares themselves. Remember, this is a shirt on the square pattern, which means that the actual, all the pieces of the shirt are squared, except for, buttons. Which brings me to the next part. Alright, the next stuff or items we're going to need to get and is going to be our notions. Now, I have here a few different things. Number one, I have a little tiny pair of scissors. I really would like to be able to get some better scissors, but for right now they work, and I just use them at home. But they're great for just cutting trimming up little bits of fabric, and also for cutting your thread then too. And on the subject of thread, I have this spool of thread right here. This is from Needle and Thread out in Gettysburg. Really, really strong stuff. The only complaint that I have about it is that sometimes on your first pass, when you're going on the beeswax, it'll bind up on you and knot up. So I did kind of find a little trick to doing it. You gotta just be real careful and take your time, and I'll show later on when we actually start working in this shirt exactly what my trick is. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to get yourself a pin cushion. And when you also have the pins though too, I'd really recommend using glass head pins. Reason being is that when you're ironing on the ironing board, they're not well. You're not going to melt your pins like I have a couple of plastic head pins here that I've accidentally melted over the years. So I tried staying away from them, but after that I decided just to go with the glass head pins. Not only is it a period correct style of pin from back then, but it also, well, you just don't have, you could use it for your housewife if you want to, or you also could, just use it at home. So I bought a huge giant box of it for a couple bucks, and I was able to get it at my Walmart, and I understand not everybody has them at their Walmart, but you can find them, and if very least, you can go ahead and order them online. If they sell it at a Walmart store, you can get it online. And the same thing goes with like Joann Fabrics or any other fabric store. Every single fabric store I've ever been to has glass head pins. So you're also going to need to get yourself some beeswax. The beeswax I have here, I was able to buy at the local hardware store. They do sell them in cakes. If you can't find them in cakes and they don't have them in cakes, go to a reenactment. You can find beeswax. I've seen some settlers who actually sell the beeswax cakes, and I've also seen it though too where they sell beeswax candles. So, and a beeswax candle, you'll have more than enough wax to last you a long time. I've been working with this piece of wax for a couple of projects, and you can see here it still has plenty of life left in it. So the next thing we're going to also need to get ourselves is some buttons. Now there's one thing you could go with the white. We can go with China buttons. There's milk glass buttons you can also go with too, and you also can use bone buttons. I really would try to stay away from shell buttons, only because I've seen too many shell buttons used in shirts, and I know it's better than at least plastic buttons or metal buttons, but try to stay away from them. You could find bone buttons out there, and a lot of sellers do actually sell bone buttons. And when you go with buttons, go with smaller ones. Majority of shirts that I've seen, originals, etc., they've all had the small style buttons on there. So go with a smaller size button, and it will really drastically improve your look much better. So now the last thing also notions are going to use is a mason jar. Get a nice big curved mason jar, not a square one. This is going to help when we're doing what's called flat felling of our seams. So it's a big help with that. My buddy told me when he got a tip from Dan Wamba at Wamba and White. So really helps out making your flat felling look much smoother. Now, one of the last things we're also going to need is we're going to need to get ourselves some fabric. You can go to Walmart and get yourself fabric from there, homespun fabric. Please stay away from muslin or any sort of white cotton. It's way too overdone in the hobby, and it looks better if you're going to be doing a hand sewn shirt, which is we're kind of going from like a hand sewn shirt from home look. You want to go with a nice homespun cotton, and also please stay away from prints too. That is something that's just way too overdone, and it's just it doesn't. I don't know. Most of them though too. Most of the time when people have prints, it's not even a real true period correct style print. It's more Western than anything. So. But your best bet is to go with a homespun. Now the material I have here, this isn't a print. This is an actual homespun. It's actually woven to be just like that. It's, as you can see, on both sides. Now I got this from a quilting place. I got this from Quilt Shack in Dubuque, Iowa. They got a lot of really great fabrics out there, and they actually just redid all their line of fabrics that they have at the store. It's an independently run store, but any sort of your good quilting places are going to have really nice looking homespun fabrics out there. So it's really great places to go for it. Joann's and Hobby Lobby does also carry homespun fabrics, along with Hancock though too. But a lot of those places, like especially with Walmart, they're India, Pakistan homespuns, and they're lightweight homespuns. This is an actual medium weight. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier than something you would have actually seen, or that you would see in Joann's or Hancock's or Walmart or whatnot. And this is actually from the USA. I don't know. I remember seeing "Made in the USA" on there, which was really surprising to me. So. But really nice. I like this material a lot, and it's going to look really, really good when we're done. Now, as for what we have here, I've got our 2 sleeves right here. We have a vent reinforcement. We have our cuff, and I have folded up in half. And then we also have our gusset, and that's the piece that goes in the armpit. And then the actual sleeve body itself, then right here. And these are all squared cut pieces. And my next video, I'm actually going to show you how to put one of these together. Now, when you're putting one of them together, I usually also put the other one together as well, doing them both at the same time, because then it helps me so I know which one's which. And I'll explain later in the sleeve making video on what to do for that. What we also have here then is we have the body. Now this is a pocket. This is going to be a pocket. I'm still not sure if I want to maybe make it like a rounded edge bottom, or if I just want to keep it nice and square. Really, you can go either way with that. Now there's even some shirts that actually have slash pockets on them, but that would really work well if you were, say, doing like a lined pocket or a lined shirt. We're not lining this shirt, so it's just going to be a plain one, which is fine. But line shirts to me are just, I get too hot too easily and something like that. So, and there are surviving shirts that aren't lined, but there also are a lot of shirts that are not lined, that are that's sort of something in the hobby that I think needs to be shown more. So, I don't know, maybe I might, if I'm actually up to it, I might go ahead and line it. And you can line a shirt with any sort of material, really. If you want to use a plain white cotton sheeting, you can, or you could even use a different homespun. So there's many different variations you can go with that. I also have here, these are the 2 placket pieces. Once again, as you can see, nice and square. Another one right here. And then I also have the this is the actual collar then, and like I said, I'm going to be cutting a little bit here on the edge, but I'm still debating if I want to go with a rounded edge or if I want to go with a nice square cut edge. So if I decide to go with a rounded edge, I'll probably round the bottoms of the pocket too then on there. And these are our shoulder reinforcements. Now, because this is not going to be a lined shirt, you're going to need to put something in the actual shoulder itself to help reinforce it. So, with this, you could, once again, you could also use any different style material, but I'm using the same one for it. Doesn't take much. And then we also have 2 vent reinforcements for the bottom vents then too. And that's going to help keep this shirt from falling apart, and, well, if you also have good stitching, it's not going to, but it just adds a little bit of extra strength and makes your shirt last a lot longer. And last but not least, we have here the actual main body. Now, I haven't cut out the neck hole yet, though, but I'll be going ahead and doing that sometime soon. And then once you cut out the neck hole, you also want to cut out your placket hole then, too. So, other than that, that's really just about it for the pieces of the shirt, as what you see here besides the buttons. Now, when you're cutting out your shirt from your material, and you're going to need about 2 to 3 yards. I go with 3 yards. I'm sort of a bigger guy, and unless you're really, really big, then you're going to need more than 3 yards. But 2.5 is really the average for what the average person needs. Get yourself a good pair of cutting scissors. I got these. I use them only for cutting fabric and cutting fabric only. If you have a pattern to cut out, get yourself another pair of scissors. You should have, I'm sure everybody has a nice pair of scissors at home to where they can cut out fabric or cut out paper. But if you're going to be using, a pair of scissors to cut out fabric, use them for fabric only. a little tip that I was given by my mom, who was given by her mom, who was also given it by her sister, who was a seamstress her whole entire life. So I don't know whether or not it's actually true if that does that, but I've heard that rumor from other sources besides my family then too, so I'm guessing it might be true. So, we have basically what we're going to be needing to make this actual shirt right here after you have it all cut out, ready to go. I made this video sort of like an introductory video of what you're going to be needing for this project, and within a week I'm going to have the second part to this video where we'll start working on the sleeves. I wanted to break this up into smaller videos such as this because, well, this is going to take some time, and you can go ahead and just watch this video as many times, or watch the videos as many times as you need. And if you're also making a shirt from a pattern or whatnot, at least then you get a little bit better of a tutorial with that, and you can actually follow along with my sewing instructions, because really a shirt and a square, there's not much difference you want to do with between one pattern and the next, besides maybe top stitching and adding trim and amount of buttons you want on it, so, and the sizes of the squares themselves. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the first of many for how to sew a shirt, and I will be back again real soon, and when I come back, like I said, we'll go ahead and start working on these sleeves. Anyway, Irish Bill saying au revoir for right now, and I'll see you next time.